Hello, no, that's not how we do it. Good damn, that's the other one. No, it's basically the same. I don't know why I stumble in the intros every. I'm going to keep this in. I stumble in the intros every time. Hello, one and all, and welcome to Heroic Inspiration, my YouTube show where I talk not to cool things about cool people, or the other way around. I do still do that, but this one's about TTRPGs instead with my lovely guests. With me this week is a man who basically started, or as at least was a key part of the Warcast debate that's been raging through the D&D community. It's Jeremy from Insights Check.
Hello.
How does it
Yes,
feel to
and
be such an important part of the current discourse?
I, I had the very I mean, I'll say unfortunate, but I had the pleasure of I sort of was like the origin point of this. I was Warcaster Zero, as it were, and it all began there. And it's been an absolutely hilarious ride, like the whole way through. It's been so funny just to see all the different reactions from so many different channels. And it turns out this is a topic that gets people really, really riled up, which I didn't fully appreciate when I initially made my video. But I mean, here we are.
It's kind of wild. I've actually shifted to the version where I do allow spells to be cast from on allies now,
Yeah.
because I actually felt like the only one that has it in my party is my druid, and I feel like they're always struggling to keep up with the other characters in terms of what they're doing.
Yeah.
So it's a nice little boost.
It's a fun option. I think it's really cool. It lets people like there's still a high cost. Like you're sacrificing a reaction. You're not using that reaction to do other things. You
Yeah.
have to be in an appropriate position. Like someone has to use their part of their movement to get into your like there's a whole cost to it, and there's still like a big teamwork dynamic to it, which to me is like it seems fun and it's cool. Like I'm totally here for it. It doesn't like sure there's gonna be some way to go like hardcore and abuse it, but to me, like for 99.999% of people, they're going to use it like 3 times, and it's going to be the most epic moment when they do. And like that to me is like super worth it.
Did you, when you covered it, did you view it as this thing that was going to expand as it has, or were you just like, it's just another video?
So a little bit of both. So when I made the video, so I had there's like a group chat that I'm in. I don't know how I lucked into this group chat, but I'm somehow in a group chat with Colby, Treant Monk, and Kelly and Monty.
Mm-hmm.
And occasionally we like will send messages back to each other to be like, hey, does this actually work? Because like I'm going to be making a video that kind of hinges on this, and like I don't want to get absolutely obliterated in the comments for like just having a video that doesn't make any sense. I've never really like asked. I don't think I've ever actually had asked a question because I was like, I'm just like here. I'm like,
if I talk, they might realize I'm here and kick me out.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I don't want them to know that I'm here. And then I made the video, and like a week before I put it out, I was like one of the only times ever ahead of schedule making a video. But I had finished the video like a week before I released it, and I was like, I was like, I'm just gonna ask you guys. I'm curious, and I posed the question to them. And it was amazing because even like within the chat, it was so divided. Like Chris was more or less on the side of like, yeah, it's fine. Like he uses it, it's cool. Colby hated it, Monty hated it, and Kelly initially was like, honestly, I think it's pretty fun. It sounds great. And then kind of like a lot of the everyone sort of like they completely shifted around over time. We talked about it for like the whole week. We're just kind of going back and forth and having different discussions about it. And then I think it was Colby that kind of had the idea. He's like, wouldn't it be really fun if like we had like some like Avengers Endgame kind of thing where everyone kind of gets together and we do this whole thing, and we all kind of had a laugh about it. And we're like, that sounds pretty fun. That sounds really good idea. And then I just kind of put out my video. I didn't really think anything of it. I put out the video, and it ended up, it did well. It had a whole bunch of traction. People were loving it. And there's all kinds of discussion about it. And then I got a message from Chris and be like, hey, do you mind if I do a reaction video? And I was like, go for it. Like, I'm like, have fun. I was like, I pretty much know what you're gonna say. So like, we've been talking about it for a week. So I was like, yeah, go for it. I don't care. Sounds fun. And then he did. And then it kind of from there, it kind of just ended up taking on the life of its own, where then Colby just like suddenly like this day after on like the Saturday or something was like, he just recorded this random video about it. It seems so like off the cuff, and it was absolutely hilarious. And then he started the thumbnail inception thing. Well, I guess Chris technically did because he put mine in it, but then Colby put both of ours in it. And then I think the next day, like Pack Tactics put out a video, and then there was a smaller channel, Mr. Dungeon and Mr. Dragon, they put out a video. And I've seen a bunch of other ones from these other smaller channels too, like Game Easy Roll Good put out another one. Like I've seen so many different, and then of course like Will from D&D Shorts like took it to the absolute next
Will's
level.
was very funny.
It was so funny. It was absolutely hysterical. The Kyle and Marty thing is just, it
Yeah.
still lives like just rent free in my head. Just them going Kyle and Marty. It was honestly, it was so much fun. And then yeah, he took it kind of to the next level. And then we kind of had the thought of like, I wonder if like, or it was Kelly or Monty. They're like, I wonder if we could actually see if we can get like Wizards to comment on it, to like see if we can get a response. Took a while to organize it, which is why their video was so delayed. They were trying to organize it, then they had Mackenzie and Justice had to get approval from like PR and all, to be able to actually make the statement, like to talk about it with them. Then they had to schedule it, and so there's a whole bunch of things. That's why they're so delayed about it. But like, so it was one of those where it's like, when I initially made the video, no, I had absolutely no concept that it was going to turn into what it did.
Yeah.
I had already made the video, and then I asked the question, and then it kind of turned. By the time I posted it, I was like, okay, maybe we could actually turn this into kind of like a fun, like, community thing. We had, the idea was like to really just make it like a community moment where people were like, oh my god, remember like remember Warcaster Gate from like 2025, and that was kind of what we wanted to just have, this moment where people could kind of just get together, pick sides, and just have like a fun little thing and just not be so serious about it. But I mean, a lot of people got pretty serious about it, but it was still pretty fun. It was just this, it was a great like moment in time that I think like the whole community kind of like banded together just to have this fun chat about this silly little interaction. And the fact that we ended up getting like actual designers from Wizards to actually talk about it and make a comment on it and say that they think it sounds fun and they would do it, even though it wasn't necessarily intended in that way.
Yeah.
Go for it. Like it was a great like whole full circle kind of community moment. It was really cool to be a part of it, and it kind of inadvertently have started it.
It's very funny because it's the first thing I think it's the first big thing from the rules that's kind of come up like that from the 2024 rules. So it's interesting to see it take life, especially like a year after the book released.
And it's so funny too because it's a video that I've like, I have a note on my phone of just like video ideas. I'm sure you do too. Every creator has just like a note of like all the videos they want to make that they have no time to make. And this has been on my list of things to like videos that I've wanted to make since pretty much the Player's Handbook came out. It's funny. I was actually thinking about this the other day. There's shortly after the Dungeon Master's Guide came out, Chris put out a video about like the whole was that like players exploiting the rules section in the game, that in the book, and I ended up having like I'm not gonna say argument. It was like a discussion with someone in the comment section of that video, and somehow the opportunity to attack Warcaster thing came up. And I was like, I think it's fine. And I think it was intentional. And I basically like that comment that I posted on that video was like basically a smaller version of the script that I ended up actually creating for the video and putting out. So like since October of 2024, I wanted to make the video, and I finally got around to it. And it's just, and it was funny because like people have like talked about it, but no one had like really like Pack Tactics mentioned he made a video, but he didn't like talk about it. He just sort of like mentioned it casually in a video. It's like, oh, and you could totally do this, and he kind of like moved on from it. So like everyone knows that you can do it. It's not like I discovered something that people didn't know. But just like no one had really like made a big deal about it, and then the whole the chain reaction thing ended up becoming the big deal, and that's kind of what made it go like explode into hilarity. But it was amazing.
It's very funny. I think it's also interesting because you're currently not in a D&D phase. You're currently in a Daggerheart phase with a lot of your videos, right?
Yeah, I'm in kind of a phase of both at the moment. So, since like Daggerheart came out, I've fell in love with the system. Like, I really, really think it's amazing. I love what it does. I'm for anyone watching, I don't think it's perfect. There's plenty of balance issues. There's plenty of questionable choices that they made. But like just the core of what the system is and what it stands for is something that I really, really appreciate. I think it's really, really cool. And yeah, so like I played a lot of it during the playtest, and then I really like loved it. And then I saw the release, and like honestly, it seems like such a cool, exciting system. I love playing it. I love running it. It's a lot of fun. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and like try and make some videos about it too. And they've ended up doing really well, which is always a super risky thing to do, to pivot a channel, especially like mine that is kind of in a phase of where it was really like upticking, those things were going really well. And it's super risky to be like, all right, here's what people have known me for. Here's like the kind of content that I've created. You've come to this channel to watch. I'm going to do something completely different. And I've been incredibly lucky that it's played out really well. Like the the response has been amazing. People have been loving the Daggerheart content. It's grown my community even bigger, and it's been like almost overwhelming to see. It's been incredible. But yeah, so I was kind of like in the midst of, it was still like Daggerheart Fiesta at that point. I was putting out like a Daggerheart video like every week, and then I was like, I'm just gonna put this one out. And then it was like, I don't want people to forget that like I do also still love D&D and still create D&D content. So I'm like, I'm gonna put out this video. And so it was like, don't forget, I still exist. I still do what you know me for.
Yeah.
But so I kind of put that out. And now kind of since then, it's been trying to balance. I want to try and make sure I'm doing. I want to continue to do Daggerheart, but I also need to continue to do D&D as well. Just because, I mean, like, it's not only because of what people know me for, it's still the game that I play the most. I play Daggerheart, but I still play D&D every week.
Yeah.
So like it's still the game that I play the most. It's still the game that I'm the most familiar with, have the most experience with. So it's still what I want to primarily talk about. But I am kind of trying to also expand what I kind of do as a channel. And like I said, I've been super lucky that that the Daggerheart content played out as well as it has, and hopefully it continues to. Because yeah, it's a super risky thing to invest like tons of time into something, and then you end up getting like 9 views. It's like, oh, that sucks. That was a waste of time. But it's gone super well so far.
It's good. Yeah, you've seen a huge uptick in subscribers in the last few months, which is really cool to see.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
How are you enjoying the like slow uplift of your notoriety? That's not the right word, but that's what I'm going with anyway.
We'll roll with it. I know what you mean. It's been cool. Like it's fun to like I don't Google myself, but like it's fun to like just be on a Reddit thread and be like, oh, I saw this in an Insight Check video. Like, that's so cool. That's me. Yeah. That's me. I'm like, that's so cool. And like, I'm in a bunch of like, Discord servers and stuff like that. And like, people will say, oh yeah, I saw this in this video, and then they'll link it. I'm like, oh, that's me. And I'm not going to like comment and be like, oh, hey, thanks for liking my video. But it's cool to see those kinds of things just like organically pop up. Like there was a time I remember like when I started and I had like 12 subs, you're like aggressively spamming your video anywhere just in the hopes that literally anybody will click on it. And now like there's people that are just going out of their way to just share stuff that I make for me. and that is like, it's really cool. And I've been really lucky, like I said before, and like to somehow end up in these like chats with these incredible people like like Monty and Kelly and Chris and Colby and all these people. Like it's and like to be in a position where someone like yourself even just is like, hey, let's have a chat, just as any vague interest in what I had to say is crazy. Like I never thought anything like that or this would be happening. So it's been a really cool and almost like humbling experience, because it's one of those like the bigger you get, the more people like are willing to kind of, I don't want to say like tear you down, but people, they kind of see you as maybe more of like you're I don't know, presenting some sort of like truth, and if they think you're wrong, then they get a lot more. I'm not really phrasing it very well, but hopefully you kind of get what I'm saying.
The more subscribers you have, the more it looks like you're an authority on the matter, and you're not actually any more of an authority than you were 15,000 subscribers ago, really. Yeah,
100%. Authority is exactly the word I was looking for. People perceive you as being more of an authority, even when you're not. Like I just have a particular perspective, and I happen to have an audience that kind of goes along with that. And those two things don't necessarily mean that I'm smarter than anyone else. It just means that like, hey, I'm just going to present my take on this Warcaster discussion or whatever it is. And yeah, so sometimes like you get like super angry comments of people that just like hate you and everything that you stand for. And I'm like, I'm just making a video about make-believe games. It's not that serious, guys. But it's been an interesting I guess yeah, especially the last few months, just like watching the growth kind of explode and getting like it's crazy. It's been fun, exciting, and slightly stressful at the same time, but but it's good.
Are you finding you have to dedicate more time to the channel now as it's getting larger, and especially as your focus is kind of splitting?
Yeah, I definitely have to dedicate more time, not just to the channel and like the videos, but I also find I'm trying to dedicate more time to like the community. So I try and like spend a lot more. It's hard, but like it's funny because I probably am doing it less, but I'm making an effort to spend more time in my Discord server, even though I'm probably spending less time in it because I'm more focused on like creating videos. I've recently been trying to do 2 videos a week, which has been a huge burden when like I also have a full-time job and like a family and stuff. So like it's hard. but yeah, I've been trying to do more of those. I mean, I don't remember if we talked about it last time, but like I also do those like community charity game shows, the quiz shows, stuff like that. I had done like three of them now, and I was planning a fourth one, and then it just like hasn't happened yet because I just have not had the time.
Yeah.
But like it's something that I want to do, and I have plans. The show is ready. I just I just haven't like had the opportunity to actually like, all right, let's get some people, let's make it happen, let's do a whole thing. But so yeah, I'm spending. I want to spend more time on like, that element of it. I don't want to just be like head in the sand creating videos and doing nothing. Like to me, like the whole reason I started this was I want to talk to other people about games, and that's genuinely still that's why I started it, and that's why I still want to continue to do it. So I don't want to have just like head in the sand, ignoring everything around me and just making videos. I want to do those community things. I want to do more like I did one live stream back in June, just was like a Q&A. And like I want to do more stuff like that, and like just have people know me as a regular human, not just a voice in a video. But yeah, that kind of stuff.
Very, very cool. How have you found the experience of playing Daggerheart?
Just like overall?
Yeah, just general thoughts.
General thoughts, I love the game. I think it's so fun. It's simultaneously incredibly different from D&D, but also very, very similar in a lot of weird ways. Like you can honestly, I ran a game for Daggerheart a couple months ago, or maybe like a month and a half ago, and I just in real time I took an adventure from the D&D anthology the heist one there, the golden keys from the Golden Vault. I just took an adventure, and I was like, in real time, I was just running it in Daggerheart.
Yeah.
I didn't do any prep for it. I didn't change. Like, the only thing I did is I looked at a few of the monsters. Like, okay, I need to find like a Daggerheart monster equivalent. That's the only prep that it is. I spent like 15 minutes looking at like monster equivalents, like right before the session. And everything else, like in real time, I had D&D Beyond open on my other screen, and then like the game opened on the other one. I was just reading it as a D&D adventure and just playing it in Daggerheart. And like the fact that, honestly, it wasn't even that hard. I expected it to be a lot more challenging, but like so much of it translates so easily. But then also in a weird way, it almost translates better just because of the fluidity of things.
Yeah.
The hardest thing for me, like getting into the game, was I expected the like no initiative system to be incredibly complex, and it's by far the biggest comment I get on any of my Daggerheart videos. It's always about like, oh, it's impossible. It's going to be an absolute nightmare. People are going to be yelling at each other, and there's no way. It's going to be so disruptive and distracting, and there's no one's ever, especially if you're playing online, it's awful. And I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, I've only played Daggerheart online. I've never played Daggerheart in person. I've only played online, and it is absolutely awkward the first 2 times because you're like, oh, I'm used to the die rolling, knowing my turn is coming up, and just seeing it, and then still spending 5 minutes to think about what I want. But with this, it's so natural. I think part of the reason why it's awkward is because you're not expecting it to be as natural as it is. You're like, oh, is it actually am I just actually allowed to just take my turn now?
Yeah.
And you kind of, and that I think is what creates a bit of like the awkwardness, a bit of the hesitation that some people have, because you're like, you're kind of expecting for like the DM to be like, oh, and now it's your turn, and now it's your turn, and now it's your turn. But you don't do that. You're like, the enemy does something, and then all of a sudden you can be like, and I just take my sword and I deflect your shield and I slam into you just go.
Yeah.
And like it's the freedom to be able to just go and just do whatever you want, and then your allies like, oh, and I see them stepping forward, and at the same time I charge up the spell, and just being able to do those kinds of things so naturally and organically, it feels illegal. It's like you shouldn't be able to just go, but you can, and I think that is like what I don't think a lot of people realize that, because it really is something that you have to try before you can actually understand it. Because I also thought it was going to be terrible. I went in fully expecting it to be awful, to be a total nightmare, and then I was completely blown away. In one of the playtests, I had a playtest group where I was playing with Nathan from D&D and Optimized and Alex from Exploring the Build. We play a lot together, and my friend Julio, who makes my thumbnails and all that stuff. We have a group where we all play together, and the first time we played, we did the whole thing. We're like, wow, this has actually worked surprisingly well. But at the time, they also had like I think they still even do. They have like a variant initiative rule where if you want it to be more structured, you can do it. So the second time we played, we're like, let's try that. Let's do the variant. Let's see how it goes. And as soon as the session was done, we're like, we're never doing that again. We're like, it was so much better with like the free open initiative. We're like, this is like worlds better. And we couldn't believe it. We're all blown away. We expected it to be better to have the structure because we're used to the structure. We played 5e for years and years and years. We're used to the structure. And then as soon as we finished the session, we were like, yeah, we're never doing that again. We're going back to the free open initiative, the no initiative. And it was so much better. It's so much better. And the game is just designed for that. It's so like the abilities all work so well to let you push people out of the way and take some damage for them and do all kinds of different stuff like that. But it really is one of those things that you have to step in and experience before you can really appreciate just how fluid it is.
Yeah.
And you have to let yourself actually try it. Because like I said, I went in expecting to not like it, but I also was willing to give it the opportunity. I wasn't like holding myself back. I'm going to hate this. This is terrible. I don't want to do this. But yeah, so the initiative thing was a big one. And I think that is like, kind of sets the tone for me, just like about what the game kind of all is. It really is just about this like open experience about just sitting down at a table with some friends and just playing the game and having some stories and doing some fun stuff. And it's so easy. And I think that's like the weird thing too, is because you expect it to be like digging through books, because like 5e is a lot of bookkeeping at the end of the day. And like I'm not going to say that like Daggerheart isn't. I think it's also surprisingly mechanical and surprisingly crunchy in a lot of ways. But not in a way that makes it like I don't find it's crunchy in a way that makes it like overbearing. The only thing that I had an issue with since the beginning, since the playtest, was the armor system, which was in the playtest, it was an absolute cluster. It was a nightmare. It was horrifically bad. I made multiple videos saying that this is the worst thing, that like it doesn't even make sense in this type of game. I don't know what they were thinking. They did massively pivot on it. I'll still say it's a bit weird. It's not optimal. It's still a bit clunky. I still don't think it's like this is like peak. Yeah. But like it works. It solves the problem of what they wanted to do, which is they definitely just didn't want to have a situation where you could just one shot something, and you essentially cannot. It's almost impossible to one shot anything, whether you're a player or a DM or a GM, because like nothing has three hit points. So you pretty much can't ever one shot anything unless it's like a minion. So that's the problem they wanted to solve. And the whole way the armor and damage thresholds all work together essentially prevents you from ever being able to do that. So it solves the problem. This wasn't really the question that you asked me. The question you asked me is, what do I think about Daggerheart?
those are all thoughts on Daggerheart. That works.
There you go. But what I think about the game is that it's awesome. Honestly, it's really, really fun. I think there's plenty of... It offers so much for so many different types of players. If you just want to get in and just have the story and just play the game, it's super easy to just let the character stuff just meld into the background and just do the thing, live in the moment, play the game. It's great. If you want to get involved and get super crunchy, there's tons of depth in character creation. You can do all kinds of different stuff with the way the domains melt together, the way you can do the the way you could, I forget what they call it, like the mixed ancestries, where you can pick one feature from one and the second feature from another and actually mix the two together. There's multi-classing stuff with different domains and bringing those together, and then figuring out the combos and all the different ways that everything plays out. So you can get like super crunchy if you want, but you can also just kind of do it and just play the game. And because it doesn't have to be complicated, because at the end of the day, you make a level 1 character, you pick 3 cards. You don't even, you pick 3 cards and move on with your day. Like it's not that hard. Like it's so I like the sort of extremes of it. I made a video about this and I found it annoying that people think it's like it is not a game that has any mechanical depth, and people get like mad at you. Like I've had comments being like, because I said so you could know if depending on this interpretation of the rules, people are like, oh, this is not a game where you should be focusing on the rules. I'm like, but it is. Like at the end of the day, it's still a game. Yeah, it's still a game that has rules. Like we still have to play by the rules.
If it didn't want the rules, it wouldn't send them out.
Exactly. They would just say, here, play the game. And you'd be like, what's the game? Make it up.
Exactly. Worst thing you'd ever buy, but
it's terrible. I'm not gonna pay $60 for you
blank pages. Huh?
Yeah. So I'm like, the game still has rules. You still gotta play the game by those rules. And yes, you can take your liberties and interpretations and change around whatever you want, but like, there's still rules that you gotta follow. And like, in there is like nestled somewhere within it, there is a whole section that even says like, hey, if your players are the kind of people who really love mechanical and crunch, encourage that. Like they even tell you like do it. Like let them explore mixed ancestries and mixed and multi-classing, and let them do all those kinds of things. Help them figure out combos to like make this card work with that card. They actually explicitly tell you to do that. But some people get so like defensive about it. They're like, that's not what Daggerheart's about. It's about whatever you want it to be about. Like
same with D&D, same with most TTRPGs. Like, yeah,
exactly. That's the thing that always gets to me. So all that to say, I think the game is great. I don't think it's without flaws. There's plenty of things. The biggest, most glaring issue to me with the game is not even, ironically, not even with the game. The layout of the book is kind of a disaster. Okay. There are things that are in places that like I'm like, what's the rule for, I don't know, movement with an adversary? And it's like it's not even in the running adversary section. It's in the player section,
right?
Where it talks about combat, and it says, oh, by the way, adversaries can't move and do this kind of thing. It's like that's their whole turn. It's like, why isn't that in the GM section for running adversary? There's stuff like that that's like in such weird places, and you're like, I don't know where I'm gonna find this, and you're like, and you have to like hold your brain. It's so that kind of stuff is a bit weird. Some of the itemization stuff is a bit weird. It feels a bit video gamey, where it's like if you're not upgrading your items, you are just going to be held back. Whereas in D&D, like you don't necessarily need to get a +1 at a certain level, +2 at a second level, +3. You can, and most people end up kind of naturally getting different items. But in this, it almost feels like if you're not maintaining your items at certain tiers of play breakpoints, that it's like you're just going to be falling behind. So some of the itemization I think is a bit questionable. Book layout is a bit questionable. Some balance things are definitely not on, where there's some abilities that are so dramatically overpowered compared to other abilities. I'm like, what what is going on? But overall, you can look past those things. Every game has weird issues like that, and you just fix it. You figure it out, you deal with it, you move on with your life, and you just have fun time. So overall, I think it's a great game. I think people would probably enjoy it. I think a lot of people would enjoy it if they gave it the shot, gave it the chance. So that's my take on Daggerheart.
Makes sense. You mentioned you're still mostly playing D&D, and this isn't me grilling you. I'm just curious. Is there a specific thing that Daggerheart could do to replace D&D as your game system of choice, or is it just the familiarity with D&D?
I think most of it is honestly just the familiarity. To be totally I do also. There's it's D&D was the first TTRPG that I really played, so I think there's just probably an emotional attachment to it, where it's one of those things where it's I love the game. I fell in love with it when I started playing it, and watching Critical Role Season 1 back in the day. Those are the kinds of things that get you really into it, and those are the kinds of things they make you just kind of have this attachment to it. I think I like. I mean, I don't just I love D&D. Because of the insanely weird things like the Warcaster thing. You can have those kind of really nuanced debates and discussions about text in the game. And I really like that thing. I went to law school, so I love the whole super this word matters. This every single I love getting into that.
Yeah.
And I was kind of just making fun of people about Daggerheart, and I don't really think that Daggerheart is a game where it's yes, it has rules, but I don't really think of it as much as a this word matters. I kind of just take the whole sort of roll with it.
Yeah.
Whereas in D&D, I love focusing on this word matters. It's kind of how I started my whole channel. It was the whole design thing. And I love that super, super nuanced focus. So I enjoy that. I think it's really cool. And I think there's also something exciting about how much the D&D universe is enormous. So every time they put out new content and new books, there's so much to think about the way that it interacts with this other thing and how everything kind of plays together. So I don't know if there's anything that Daggerheart could do to replace D&D at my regular table. Maybe it would. I'll also a lot of the people that I play with in my regular game, I play with some friends and stuff like that. They're not really gonna learn a new system. They're just and I think that's also the thing for a lot of people that's maybe a tough pill to swallow, is that D&D is just the default game for a lot of people, and everyone that I play with, we have jobs and kids and families, and it's learning a new game, unless you're heavily incentivized or really want to do it, is a commitment. And it just is. It takes a lot of time, takes a lot of effort. And I'm not saying it's impossible. Everyone can, but do you necessarily want to put in that effort when
Yeah.
the game that you're playing is already doing everything that you want it to do, and you're all still having fun? If we were all miserable and you're like, this game feels like a slog, and I don't even want to do it, like, what are we doing? Then I'd be like, have a bigger conversation about like, all right, let's look at different systems.
Yeah, of
But
course.
for the moment, like, we're all still loving the game as it is. Like, we're playing with the 2024 rules now, so like things feel a little bit fresher, a little bit different. Things have been updated nicely, and so we're just enjoying it. Like, I have no reason to be like, I want to change this from D&D. I'm still enjoying playing D&D. So instead of replacing my regular game, I just started playing another game at the same time. So I have like a different group. We play way less frequently, but like we still play it, and then we just play Daggerheart instead. And like it's just a different thing. Now I get the best of both worlds. I get to still play D&D, but I also get to play Daggerheart.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. For me, I'm sticking with D&D because all the reasons you said. I've got 2 kids. I'm a freelancer with like multiple places I work for, always looking for more work as well. And I do the YouTube stuff. And occasionally I try to sleep.
It's hard
sometimes. My kids aren't as keen on me sleeping as I am, but here we are. And yeah, learning a new system, even though I'm more than capable of it. And at the time of recording this, I'm playing Tales from Elsewhere. So Peter from Tales from Elsewhere, the channel, I'm playing his game later. On the day we're recording this, so like I am capable of it, but it's such a monumental psychic task, and I own a bunch of stuff for D&D specifically.
I mean, yeah, same. Like I literally,
exactly.
I got a whole shelf of 5e stuff, and like it's actually funny that people I have this massive collection. These books are never opened because the text for me is too small. I don't have the greatest eyes, so the text for me is too small. So this is literally just pure collection. I have D&D Beyond for everything else. So like this is all just collection. But yeah, like I invested all this money, and like so like I have the stuff. I bought the stuff twice. I have a physical copy of it, and I have it digitally. So I'm like, I spent a lot of money on this. I want to get my value out of it.
Time, all the coolest third parties. Like so many wonderful third party creators do stuff for D&D, and they're not doing the stuff for Daggerheart. Like, I want to be where all the options are, and at the moment, all the options are at D&D. So yeah, I fully get it. Have you looked into Draw Steel at all?
That's so funny. I was gonna bring it up. I was like, I don't know if he's gonna mention it, but yes, I've only played one session. Someone from my Discord server ran a game, and they asked me if I wanted to join. I said sure. I'd love to get to be into it. At the time, it was still the beta. It was maybe like March or April that we played.
Okay.
And so it was still like the beta. So they let us play everything. It was, to me, like, the game is amazing. It is so good. But to me, and this is like for the people we were just talking, this is why I was going to bring it up, because we were talking about learning a new system. Getting into Draw Steel is like, I find it's like a monumental challenge, because you just open the text, and I think on my Discord, we're having this the conversation this morning actually with some people, but it feels like a textbook. It's
like scientific almost.
It feels like, and it's just you're hit with this. It's just walls of text. It's just text and text, and like it doesn't feel like, it's not inviting. It's not like, here, like, let's learn this game. Like Daggerheart does an amazing job of that. They have this incredible art. Like they kind of like it. The book reads like someone is telling you like someone's talking to you and that's probably part of why the structure is a little bit weird. For Daggerheart, because it is kind of like it reads like. It reads conversationally. It reads like someone is just telling you how to play, which is a choice. That's what they made. It has its upsides where it's very easy to read. Daggerheart is incredibly easy to just like read through it like a regular book. The downside is that organization suffers a little bit as a result. D&D, the way like the player's handbook, I described the player's handbook today as kind of almost feeling like a warm hug. Like you open the book, you have this text, you have this incredible, like all the details, all the artwork, the design, the way that everything kind of flows together. They have the pop out, like the box text that kind of is separated. It draws your eyes to different places. It makes you feel like, cool, like we're gonna learn this game. Everything you need to know is highlighted, but we have this incredible art, so you can look and kind of like drift off into your own fantasy world. And like as you're reading it, you can like not just see text, but you can like see what that actually looks and feels like. And they do such a great job. But for all the other things, like D&D, D&D is not a perfect game. It's got plenty of problems. But like the book, the organizational layout and the structure, the way the book just feels so good. And that to me is the hardest part about Draw Steel, is because the game is amazing. It took me, when we ran that one shot, oh my god, it took me forever to understand anything. It was so, like, it was so dense, it's so heavy. And we even had an interview I was with on my second channel with we interviewed James Introcaso, the lead designer for the game, and we talked a lot about it and a lot about the stuff, and like, it was a really, really fascinating discussion. And like, it's a game that like I want to invest more time in, but it's just so daunting. Like, I want to make videos for Draw Steel the same way I did for Daggerheart. I want to do it, but every time I open up the PDF, I'm like, oh my god, like, it's so hard. It's so hard. I'm like, and it's not it's not cheap either. Like, I had to take out a second mortgage to buy this book. Like, I bought the game and I have it. So like, I've exchanged currency for this at this point. Like, I feel like I need to like get that money back to recoup that cost. So I gotta make some videos about it. But like, I wish it was like easier to get into. And this, to me, I think like there's gonna be some people that absolutely love it. They're like, they want this book that feels so like utilitarian. It's like, this is just text. It feels like it's a no frills experience. Like, this is the book, this is the text, these are the rules, this is everything that you need. And like, I wish I was one of those people. I need a little bit more help. Maybe I'm just a little bit slower than some, but like, I'm not like, but now I'm just like tangenting. If you had asked me, would you prefer a strictly utilitarian book or like the way that Daggerheart is written, I would have said the utilitarian book instead of the book that's like a little bit organizationally messed up and kind of confusing. But now, having experienced both of them, I'm 100% the other way. Give me the conversational book that's got this incredible art and flowy. It's super easy to read. That might have some organizational issues. I'll figure that out myself. I'll take that over the strictly utilitarian, like, this is text on a page. And man, one day I will, because like, the game, like I said, the game is incredible. The designs are brilliant. Like, it's done so well. Like, I want to like really like emphasize that. Like, I think the game is amazing. But the problem that I have with it today is the same problems that I had with it during the playtest. And I was like borderline assured to like, don't worry, this is just playtest material. Matt was always talking about it's the blueprints of the game, so it's gonna look really bad. Don't worry, it's gonna be great. And I don't know how much of that really improved from playtest into production. It's better. There is art, like it looks, but it's not the warm hug. It's not easy. So I think like switching to Draw Steel is going to be probably present a challenge for a lot of people. One day I will finally just be like, all right, I'm gonna spend the day. I'm gonna commit. I'm just gonna go. And I'm sure that once I finally do that, I will love even more than I already do. I just wish it was easier to get into.
Do you think it would have been easier to get into if you did it the other way around? If you did Draw Steel and Daggerheart?
Probably.
Okay.
Honestly, probably. It's funny too, because like at the time with the second channel, Tabletop Trends, like with that one, we've read through so many different books at this time. We've done like 6 different games. Like I'm not like the world's, I don't have the world's most experience when it comes to TTRPGs, but like that's part of why we made the channel, because neither of us were. We wanted to explore new games and kind of broaden our horizons a little bit, and we've done that. We've been, we've played like 6 different games now, and Draw Steel was one of the later ones that we did, and it's like we read through so many, and then when we got to this, it's for both of us. It felt like such a roadblock. It felt so hard to be like, oh my gosh, like to get actually dig in and to read it. It was, I remember Nathan, we had the same conversation. It was so challenging for both of us to actually like dig into the book. And he is like such a, like, I'm a nerd, but like Nathan's like a next level. Like, he loves to dig into, like, I love this word matters. Nathan's like, this comma matters. Like every little thing, like, and he gets so, and even for him, he was like, man, this is a tough read. I was like, I feel like, okay, good. I'm not alone.
Very cool. We're really in a good age for like TTRPGs at the moment. For heroic fantasy TTRPGs, the last few months have been fantastic. Is there anything at all that you would like to plug?
Is there anything I'd like to plug?
Yeah. Channels.
I mean, obviously. You can plug my YouTube channel, Insight Check. You can plug my second channel, Tabletop Trends, where we play all sorts of different fun games. You can plug my Patreon, YouTube, patreon.com/InsightCheck. You can hook me up. You can help me out. You know what? That's I mean, That's all I really got.
That's the plug. The plug's the worst bit for everyone involved. Don't worry. There's not a single person I've been like, "Is it you want to plug?" And they're like, "I don't want to do that." And it's like we're all on YouTube having to do that, and I think just doing it vocally is such a completely different thing.
It is. It is.
Thank you so much for finding time to do this. It's always
Great.
a pleasure. Yeah, I can't remember how we sign this one off. How do you want to sign off? Do you want to wave? I think we do finger guns. Do you want to do finger guns?
I'll do whatever you want to do.
Let's do finger guns. You ready?
All right.
All right. Go. Pew pew.
Pew, 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 pew.